What's up, guys? I'm Dalton. I play guitar and sing, and I'm on the casting couch about to answer some questions.
Hello, I'm Alice Wentz, and I play guitar, lead guitar, and Caravel.
My name is Aiden Mendoza. I'm the drummer for Caravel.
What's going on, guys? I'm Adrian. I play bass in Caravel.
You should expect much more quality than the past album. Both the songs themselves and, mix-wise and whatnot, because we actually went to Walle Guzman. He's an awesome producer, and even the first damn pre-production, they already sounded better than the last EP that we did at home. So I expect some bangers and some very good quality stuff, and expect to get in your feels too. These songs are pretty deep.
It's breakup season. I didn't actually play any guitars on it. That was mostly Dalton. He's playing the leads on there. And so this one I actually had some creative input in regards to lead guitars. And I would say that they sound a lot more refined and more sensitive. Pop sensibilities is something that Walle stressed to us. So you should expect some, catchy guitar leads.
I'd say the production quality of this new album is far better than the last one, Breakup Season, because that one was independently produced, and I'd highly recommend Walle. He's he does a really good job. He's been doing it for a long time, and I think it's going to turn some heads for sure, and I expect it to sound really good.
What we were able to put out and have people connect to it, obviously songs like Unwanted Space is doing so well. But this album is definitely an album that's going to have some bangers, and it's definitely going to turn some heads. It's just so different from the first one, obviously production-wise and everything, because obviously the first album was more of like an independent release. This time we worked with Walle Guzman on the second album, and I feel like all sophomore albums really help establish the sound of a band. So definitely you're going to see a big difference from our first album to this one.
Yes, I do. It's You're Hard to Forget. Why? I don't know. Kind of hits me at home, I guess, and I just like the groove of it. Kind of laid back and get in the feels a little bit. And yeah, I was really proud about that song. I wrote it pretty quickly, and that's the only reason there's 7 songs on this album. It's because of that one.
Between Carry On and Jack and Airplane are my two favorite songs to play. Carry On because the guitar tone and the way I'm playing on it, the slide, that's a lot different than a lot of other pop punk songs, but I think it sounds cool and it fits kind of the ballad style. It's more southern. There's a southern charm to it.
I'd have to say Getaway is my favorite song. Just when I play that song with the band, I just really like the groove of it, and it's just really fun song to play. And I think I'd say another favorite is would have to be You're Hard to Forget. I love playing that one too. Those are two of my favorite songs.
Carry On has to be my favorite song off the whole album. It's probably the only song that we recorded vocally that really kind of drained the energy out of me. I think Carry On is a song that can, really have a lot of impact on someone's life, because a lot of people can relate to, loss of a loved one and everything like that. So definitely Carry On is my favorite, and I think it's just simply because it's from my grandmother. So
I had an old bass player. He was alright. Not very committed to music though. So, long story short, put an ad on Craigslist saying I need a bass player. Adrian Trevino showed up on my doorstep.
Dalton had an ad on Craigslist. I was originally supposed to be jamming with 54 Reasons, and then for reasons I couldn't, no pun intended.
54 reasons he could.
I had 54 reasons why I couldn't jam with Juan in 54 Reasons.
That's a knee slapper right there.
But no, for reasons I couldn't commit to his project. And then for a while, I just went on just, kind of just going and, through the motions of finding another band, finding out if I'm so passionate about music. And then I saw an ad on Craigslist looking for bassist for a pop punk band. I hit him up, and turned out to be Dalton, who ended up taking my place in 54 Readings. He sent me his demos. I loved Fly Down, and I loved a couple other songs. And I told him I wanted in on this. And from then on, it was a matter of, us clicking. When we first jammed, we did a bunch of Blink-182 covers. And, talk about King of the Hill and everything. So, but yeah, we just clicked, and we knew right off the bat that, this was going to end up going somewhere. And as they say, the rest is history.
eHarmony. No. Dalton had a Craigslist listing, and I was looking for a band to join because I was just out of the band, and I was kind of like, writing my own music is hard. So I want to join a band that already has a direction going. And Dalton had like a pop punk band. I said, oh, okay, I'll try this. And I went over to his house. He sent me Unwanted Space. That was the first song, and I was like, okay, I can get behind this. And that's how I joined the band. I went to his house, tried out with that song, and damn, I was in the band.
Well, the lead singer Dalton, I've known him for years. We went to high school together. I knew a couple of his friends. We've jammed out a few times in the past. But he messaged me and asked me if I wanted to join a band as a drummer. And I haven't ever been a drummer for a band before, so I said yes. I was pretty pumped about it. He sent me some of the songs, and I learned them pretty quickly. And showed up to rehearsal, and it's history from there.
Working with Walle, it was awesome. Anybody watching this that needs any kind of music or even audio production done, go to Walle. We were going to go to some other studios, not going to name names, some other kind of pretty big name studios, but at the end of the day, they wouldn't do the work that Walle did as far as pre-production did. He really brought these songs to life a lot more than what we had them to be. And he takes the time to make sure everything's perfect. It's not just, okay, this is good. All right, you're fine. That's good. Good take. It'll make you do it over and over again until it's perfect. So
he really pushed us to be the best that we can possibly be. He wants the best for any band that goes in there. He will absolutely push the hell out of you and make sure you're at the top of your game, no matter what. That's something I really love about him. And just his experience, he's really good at what he does. He's been doing this for a long time, and I feel really confident with Walle, and anyone should really.
Working with Walle was really fun. I liked some of the directions he took the guitar playing in, and some of the things he let me do. Kind of pushed me to be more creative with some of the leads than I was going into it. Working with him was fun. It's not stressful playing guitar. It's pretty much, he pushed me to get a pretty exact performance that was really tight, and he's a good guitar player, so I'm glad for that.
He had a certain vibe with how he runs things and everything. He didn't want us to just listen to the song. He wanted us to vibe with them. He wanted us to listen to how the drums sound, how the guitar sounds, and how the bass sounds, and that in its own right could let us know where to go vocally. He really pushed us and made us comfortable enough to just go with the flow and just release whatever emotion or feeling that we had during the writing process of this album. I feel like he let us kind of flow into that and just let us be ourselves. So I think when it came to recording the songs, he just told us his opinion, but at the end of the day, he went with whatever sound is going to make us happy.
Man Overboard is the #1 influence. That's the biggest one. Puddle of Mud. I love Puddle of Mud. I have Blink. I'm not as big of a Blink fan as I used to be, but they're definitely there. Stained and Census Fail.
aren't necessarily just pop punk. Obviously, we got bands like Blink-182, Newfound Glory, Save the Day, A Day to Remember, Neck Deep. But a lot of influences come from like several genres and artists. Honestly, like Michael Jackson, performance-wise, Prince, and then that goes to like artists like Slipknot, all the way to Incendiary, to Eminem even. As far as this album, I definitely listened to a lot of Newfound Glory, Neck Deep, and a lot of Save the Day.
So I like listening to a lot of heavy music. Regarding lead guitar playing, like Breaking Benjamin, Seven Dust are some of my influences in regards to lead playing, riff writing. For this band, I kind of started listening to some underground, like more recent pop punk bands like Belmont, Broadsides. I think that's the name, Broadsides. Definitely listen to some older pop punk, like, and not just like Blink and Green Day, like Sum 41.
I'd say as a drummer, some of my biggest influences would have to be Steve Jordan, he drums for John Mayer, and Matt Halpern, he drums for Periphery, and I'd say a little bit of Travis Barker, Blink-182, can't go wrong with him, and it's really about it.
Shout out to Walle Guzman, shout out to Richard Wikander, however you say his last name, to Robbie, everybody that owns or that works out of Lightbook Studio, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Juan Alvarez for even giving me the knowledge about Walle Guzman. I didn't even know who he was until Juan, so shout out to the band, everybody did a good job, it's going to sound good. It was a hell of a process. Exhausting, but it's going to be for the best.
I want to shout out the rest of my bandmates because why not? They're pretty awesome.
I'd like to shout out Walle Guzman for his phenomenal work on this album, and as well the rest of the band, and my family and friends who cheered me on during it.
Definitely shout out to Walle Guzman for doing such an amazing job on this album. Shout out to my family, my friends, shout out to my bandmates. Also shout out to Coastin Bay, shout out to Juan from 54 Reasons. If you guys are going to check this album out, it's going to be sick.